40 years ago, we opened our doors with one mission in mind.
We'll be right back with the top 10 songs of 1983.
To sell quality American-made vehicles at a fair price.
You have arrived.
And we've loved every minute of the ride. Celebrating 40 years of Two Rivers Ford.
Yo, what up, Nashville? 3HL is on the air. 104.5 The Zone. Britt Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. Babsy, what's up?
What's up?
That's bunk. That's bunk. Twitch, please.
Happy
Twitch, please. Twitch, please.
Thursday. You know what that means? The weekend is here, people, and it's warm out.
Dude, and we've got great basketball tonight. We've got great basketball tomorrow. We've got lots going on.
You can sit outside and watch it with these temps.
Ron Slay is bedazzled.
Oh my gosh. Let's put it lightly.
This kind got no root. This kind got no root. No root.
Would you like to explain to the fine people that are not watching on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook Live, or Twitch?
Twitch, please.
What you're wearing?
Big chain on. A big old chain with the emblem of a T. A power T. Because the Sweet 16 is taking place today.
Let me explain a little bit better.
Okay, thank you. You got it.
The Power T is bedazzled, stoned in Swarovski rhinestones.
That's right.
With the inner T in orange.
Orange.
And Tennessee orange. And it is outlined in clear.
That's right.
AB crystallized rhinestones.
Big chain.
It is amazing.
Big chain, big sweet 16 energy.
You got swagger.
Big T, big power T. Everything
Okay.
today.
Jeez.
Slay's
That's a
on
big
one today.
T that in your head there. Look at that.
All right, while we're talking about that, we are out at 5:23, Hunk. Is that right?
Uh-oh.
Roughly, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
Oh, I thought
depends
it
on
was
the
like
dawn rant. Yeah.
5:15.
5:15.
Oh, no, I'm out. I want to get home, get the outside set up. I want to enjoy it and watch some
You
basketball.
watch the game outside?
Yeah. It's warm enough, too.
It is Sweet 16
I thought you
basketball
were
as
just making a
the
suggestion.
4-seed
No.
Vols take on the 9-seed Florida Atlantic. Thank you. Vol Network coverage begins at 5:30. Tip-off, no. Basketball coverage begins at 5:30.
Yeah.
Tennessee plays at 8.
That's right.
Vol Network coverage begins at 7:30. See what happens when you write things down quickly. Also coming up today, Daniel Jeremiah at 3:20. He is with the NFL Network. He does draft work for them. He also has the Move the Sticks podcast. He has a new mock draft out. You're going to be interested to know where Hendon Hooker might be in his mock draft.
Oh,
Also,
I can't wait.
He's got a little different twist on what the Titans might do at
It's
11.
got a twist.
So
Kind of
we'll do
like
that.
it.
Twist and shout.
420, Greg Cosell, best film evaluator in football. We'll talk about the NFL draft, and we'll focus in on offensive line prospects today with regard to Greg Cosell. Big
Don't
Savagery.
want to miss this one.
Yep, Big Savagery, Ramon Foster at 5 o'clock.
Getting in the dough.
Ramon, how appropriate
Ramon.
that we're talking about offensive linemen, and then we're going to have one on.
Yeah. Ramon.
Hey, so none of you guys are making the trip to Madison Square Garden, right?
Nah.
How cool is that venue, though, to be able to play a Sweet 16 in?
I think it's one of the greatest venues because of the mystique of it. More so than anything else.
The history of it. Yeah.
Where it lies in the middle of the city. Like, I think that's
It's funny, too, because, like, you're walking around down there near Broadway, and you just stumble on it.
right. Yeah, just pop out.
It's like, oh, there's MSG right there.
What's this doing here?
Yeah.
The Garden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a bunch of buildings around that kind of look like that with all the lights on and everything, and then you're like, oh, that's Madison Square Garden. There it is.
I think Philly Mike hit it on the head. All the tradition, and when you think about everybody that walked in there and performed in there and fought in there and played in there, like it's something else, man. And then the way they said it, I think, with having it like a Broadway theme in a sense, with you being on the stage, why it dims everything else around you. Lakers do a great job of that too, but. Yeah, talking about Madison Square Garden. And then you know how they like to say, it's the Mecca of basketball. All right. It's everything begins in New York. Everything.
All right.
Kind of the concert mecca, too, in this country.
What probably the
I mean, some of the more historic concerts.
It's the concrete slab mecca, too, probably. Probably the first slab of concrete was laid in New York City. Let them tell it. Ever. Not wrong.
It's a nightmare to drive in.
Oh, no,
Nobody drives in New York. It's too cold.
Yeah, why are you driving in New York?
I don't know,
will never in my
because-
life drive in New York.
Babsy?
Are you kidding me
I
right
know,
now?
because I thought I could handle it. And I did handle
so
it.
you rented a car at where? Newark?
No.
I like Newark. because
LaGuardia.
You come in from Newark,
even
it's like
worse.
the Sopranos intro.
Mm-hmm.
With all
I
the
flew
factories
into
and everything.
LaGuardia. But you have to remember, this is when I worked the Pinstripe Bowl for ESPN, and that was the week where all Southwest flights canceled, and then everybody was buying up other it was just get there however you can. So I ended up flying in and out of LaGuardia. And on my way out, I had a 4Runner, like a big old, protect yourself kind of car.
Those
And
aren't that big.
yes, they are.
Little
No,
Babsy.
4Runners?
For little Babsy.
Okay.
Oh, dude, if you want like a Yukon or an Escalade or something like that, those are
Well,
big
that's a
vehicles.
different level. 4Runners are still big. Anyway, as I was pulling out, I said, "Hey, I've never driven around New York at all." And my hotel was like right by Times Square, and I said, "Any advice?" And she goes, "Be aggressive." Just be aggressive. I was like, oh, that's no problem. I fit right in. I had no issues until I actually got to the city. And then they randomly, like every 5 minutes, close off certain streets.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like,
They do it with like.
I just circled around.
They do it with like cords.
They make their own rules.
And just people. Like it's just police officers.
We did it. That's how I heard McGraw.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was
So,
funny because
that's
the
the problem.
guy that was controlling the crowd, where we were at the stoplight on the corner trying to cross the street, but they stopped us. The guy
Was
that
this
was
Army
doing it,
Navy?
yeah,
Yep.
the guy that was
I was
doing
in
it was
bed.
from Knoxville.
Yeah, it sure was. Just wanted to talk to me. I'm telling him I gotta use the bathroom. You up here trying to have a conversation.
But
me get
but
one
it
of
was
these
COVID,
buildings.
so like
From
no
Knoxville.
one would let you in to use the bathroom.
I got the pee.
So we had to walk. We had to
I
walk
know it
all the
did.
way back to the hotel, which was like a mile and a quarter, which we thought would be okay. But
In traffic, in people traffic. Plus, we had to see, what was the skate? Rockefeller Center.
What's the skate? That was over Christmas.
Yeah.
that was a romantic little side trip for me and Slay there.
Yeah. That was how
Watch the
Slay got
people's-
injured.
Watch people skate
Yep.
with the big Christmas tree there.
That's right. That's when Babsy went to sleep on us. Left for co-host. Left for
Slay was
teammates.
trying to get on Saturday Night Live.
It was.
That's where it's filmed at, too.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and so then we hung out outside the hotel and smoked cigars with all the police officers.
Yeah.
Like, there were like
20 of them.
yeah,
30,
just
yeah.
standing,
Just
there.
hanging.
And they just pulled up out of nowhere. Like, this was the spot.
And I'm dead serious. They were characters out of the movie.
Every
Like,
bit
I
of
mean-
it. Like, all you needed was a camera. That's all you needed. The conversations, that was wild.
All right, Sweet 16 tonight. Which game outside of Tennessee are you most excited about?
Tonight, the game I'm most excited about would have to be.
Arkansas?
I am
like
excited about Arkansas. Yeah,
Green broke that down really well, and he
Yes,
broke
he
it down
did.
just like you did, honestly. But
I like the game, but I think I want to see the contrast of style. I think that's the most exciting game. The contrast of styles I want to see is Kansas State, Michigan State. Like I want to see
that point guard again.
Man.
Noel, the little kid.
I love him, man. I love.
If I was him, I
watching.
would just own that. Like I'm the little kid.
No, he put out on
I
Twitter.
think he is.
He put out the next day. Me and Coach Cal talk. We good. So
Oh, he did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
Next day, so yeah.
I would own it too.
I
Yeah,
would
I'm the
own
little
it.
guy that lit your butt up
Mm-hmm.
for 27.
Slade the
9.
Giant. Yeah, but that's
27
gonna be a
and
good one. UCLA Gonzaga never disappoints either.
Yeah.
If you look over the years, it's always been a game winner or something like that. So, yeah, man. Parlay's in effect.
So
What's
the
up?
lines tonight are low. Michigan State favored by 1 over Kansas State. The
Oh, it
7,
was 1.5.
Yeah, the 7 over the 3 seed, favored by 1. Arkansas and Connecticut, UConn favored by 4. Tennessee, a 5-point favorite over Florida Atlantic. You got it for 4.5 somewhere, right?
Yeah.
All right. Gonzaga and UCLA by 1. So we got some good stuff
Good
tonight.
games.
Gonna be some good games.
I mean, if you just look at lines, much better games tonight than tomorrow.
Yeah.
If you're just looking
No,
at
looking
Vegas,
at lines. Yeah, lines.
no, that's definitely true.
Without
Yeah.
question. Yep. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
so
baby.
tomorrow is Alabama by 7.5 over
Yeah.
San Diego State. Houston by 7.5 over
Yep.
Miami. Creighton by 9.5 over Princeton. Although
mean,
the
come
gambling
on.
people that we talk to all like
Princeton.
Yep.
plus the 9.5. Not
Yep.
necessarily to win, but plus the 9.5. That number is too big. And then Texas minus the 4. Slay and I love that one against Xavier.
Mm-hmm. Like them.
What a run by Texas after that whole Chris Beard situation.
What's the holdup, though?
Is he gonna be the head coach?
You feel what I'm saying? Like, what's the holdup, man? Like,
Like, what more do I have to do, bro?
I wouldn't even want it, man. When they were offered, I wouldn't even want it, man. I'm cool. I'm gonna go somewhere else, man. Y'all can find
Well,
whoever else
now
y'all want it,
hold
man.
on.
That's wrong, Babsy.
Hang
Hold on a
on.
minute.
That's
Maybe
wrong.
they have had talks and they just don't want to
Oh, okay.
do it now. They
That's
don't want
definitely
to. They don't want to
possible, for sure.
upset the balance of what's going on now. You know, maybe it's he has a great relationship with those kids, and it's hey, we'll talk about this after the season. But like,
He
you're
better
our
get it.
guy,
How about that?
but you want. You know, maybe you want your guys to play for you because they want you to get the job.
Okay, talking off the ledge,
you know,
Babs.
I got you. I pulled you off.
Thank you.
Now, I could be totally wrong, and Texas could be ready and raring to screw this up.
Yeah.
I mean,
I sure hope they not. 'Cause,
all right, let's talk about the NFL draft. Daniel Jeremiah from the NFL Network will join us next. Again, you will be interested to know what he thinks the Titans might do at 11. And also, he's big on Hendon Hooker. How big? We'll tell you next. 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
Still, I got wings. If I were you right now, while you're listening to my voice, I would pick up the phone and I'd call one of these locations. You could call the Nolensville location, 615-891-1298, or the Ewing location, 615-953-7554, and I would tell them, hey, man, I need 50 to 100 wings ready. Because there's some games going on tonight, and there's nothing better than having strikeout. Or you can just go sit in there and watch the game, too. You got plenty of TVs, plenty of drink specials going on. You don't want to miss it. Plaza Mariachi is one location, 3961 Nolensville Pike. And 123 Ewing Drive is the other location. Now, you also can hit them up and go and pick up some wings and take them home. 2500 Highway 31 West, White House, Tennessee. We ain't forgot about y'all. So y'all slide over there, and don't forget to add in that mac and cheese. That's right. The home of Sweet and Sassy has added mac and cheese to the menu, and you know they got the Ron Slate special. What better around basketball season than Sweet and Sassy with the lemon pepper drizzle, Cajun ranch fries with the cheese button on top? And that's the like out wings.
Brentwood Jewelry, my friends over there, are going to help you out with any of your jewelry needs and your gifting responsibilities throughout the course of the year. 7012 Church Street in the heart of Brentwood, just off Franklin Road. Ron Slade just went in there and purchased a ring.
Sure did.
Brentwood Jewelry. With new hours in 2023, just want to make sure you take note of this every once in a while. They are off closed Sundays and Mondays now. Open Tuesday through Friday from 9 until 6, Saturdays from 9 until 4. Do you have a family heirloom that's precious to you, but maybe it's not a style or a piece that you would wear currently? It's hard to let someone take your priceless heirloom and transform that into something you can wear every day, but that's exactly what Brentwood Jewelry is known for. creating customized pieces. They can transform and create a personalized piece that is unique as the person who left you that keepsake. Customize a piece for an anniversary, special birthday, or just because. Brentwood Jewelry has the best selection of gems and diamonds from which you can choose. Just pick your stones, meet with one of their designers, and create a custom piece that will exceed your expectations. Brentwood Jewelry, located in Brentwood, in the heart of Brentwood, just off Franklin Road, 7012 Church Street East. Exceptional style, exceptional deals every day for more than 50 years. Visit BrentwoodJewelry.com.
All right. I like it. You know what else I like? Xfinity X-Fi. You want to count on a reliable connection for all of your devices. Even when everyone is online, you need your internet to handle all of those devices. Xfinity X-Fi, that's the answer. You can do more of what you love with the fastest internet. Protect your devices, help keep your loved ones safe, secure online. You can turn on this X-Fi advanced security. We've done it at our house. It's awesome, and it's included at no extra cost with Xfinity X-Fi. Especially because it's hard to keep an eye on everybody playing on the internet in your house. Stay connected, wall-to-wall coverage throughout your home, 24/7 customer service when you need it. And you've got ultimate control of your home network. Create your own Wi-Fi name and password, assign user profiles. You can view and control connected devices at all times and much more. And you can use the Xfinity app to pause Wi-Fi, maybe sitting down for dinner. There you go. Maybe you want to have family time or you want to make sure that your family is safe browsing. Xfinity X-Fi, that's the way to go. It's available to Xfinity Internet customers with a compatible Xfinity gateway. Based on Xfinity's fastest available download speeds, all you have to do to get started is call 1-800-XFINITY. Visit Xfinity.com or just drop into an Xfinity store for more details. Xfinity X-Fi, get it.
3HL 1045 The Zone. I'm serious, man. When you fly into Newark, New Jersey, and go into the city, it's like The Sopranos as you make that drive. The Sopranos intro. Dawn flies into LaGuardia.
Yes, she
Hey,
does.
listen, I was getting there any way I could.
Had to make it happen.
So when you rented a car and drove into the city, I literally know no one that's ever done that.
Yeah.
You didn't hit anybody. You didn't get hit. You didn't cuss anybody out. You didn't get cussed out.
Oh, I didn't say that.
Oh.
One of the officers cussed me out.
Oh, that's
You
normal.
love getting cussed out by the cops, man.
Especially on the East Coast.
But I don't see on the East Coast. What's the problem here?
East Coast.
Yeah.
Yep.
They have a bad attitudes.
Without
You're
question.
more like a NWA fan, like Tupac, West Coast girl.
That's right.
Speaking of which, Daniel Jeremiah is in L.A. right now.
Oh, there we go. West Coast.
Speaking of the devil, there he is. Daniel Jeremiah, NFL Network draft expert. Move the sticks. What's up, Daniel?
What's going on, guys? I just finished, left the studio here in Los Angeles and driving back to my hotel. I live down in San Diego, and I still, as a child of the '90s, appreciate it every time I drive by a street, which is in a rap song that I listened to in high school.
Man,
I
factual.
love it.
That's factual. That is factual.
But what about Vanilla Ice? Oh, wait, that's Miami, right? He talks about
Yeah,
Miami.
that's East Coast. I mean, look,
A1A.
Snow, Vanilla Ice, quality performers in their own right, but come on, we're
You spot on, Daniel.
I love it. Daniel
Oh,
Jeremiah,
so
at
good.
Move the Sticks, NFL Network draft expert. New mock draft out. How many mock drafts will you end up with, Daniel?
I think it's 4 or 5. It used to be a lot more when I first got into this.
Yeah.
Thankfully, over the years, we have a lot of people that do them, and I don't have to do quite as many of them. So about 4, I think maybe 4 or 5 at the most. But it's a fun exercise. People get a kick out of it. It drives a lot of traffic and a lot of conversation. So I enjoy it for what it is, and I've gotten to the point where I can get a good laugh out of how worked up some people end up getting.
Quarterback questions. All right. So who's your best quarterback?
Well, for me, it's Bryce Young. I know the concerns about the size. His tape is unbelievable. If you I said this on TV today, but if you covered up the names at the top and just looked at the notes that I took on Joe Burrow coming out and the notes I took on Bryce Young, you didn't know how big they were. You're not going to be able to tell the difference. Like he's that type of a player. You wish he was bigger, absolutely. But all these guys have a hole you've got to be able to navigate around and to deal with. His just happens to be the size, but everything else is pretty darn good.
I noticed, like, a lot of people have the 4 quarterbacks going maybe in the top 5. You've got Will Levis considerably further down your list. Why?
Well, it's a scenario you look at. I think there's always a chance when you have this many that one of them ends up dropping. I feel pretty confident that we're going to see Stroud and Bryce Young go off the board really early in some combination. And then I think after that, there's a chance that it's either Anthony Richardson or Will Levis, that one of them ends up sliding a little bit. And I think that also just introduces a whole new group of teams. We kind of assume these guys all go in the top 5 to 7 picks. And then you're like, well, wait a second, what if that doesn't happen? And that's one of the things that are great about mock drafts is you can scenario it out and say, okay, well, in this scenario, how does this change? Who are the next tier of quarterback teams? And who might be a team that might be thinking about moving up. So I don't do trades in mock drafts this early. I think it's kind of pointless.
Yeah.
So I like to identify teams with players and with needs that way.
Just before we continue to kind of talk about your mock drafts, I guess kind of pull the curtain back, let everybody know what kind of goes into how you decide where players are going in your mock drafts, like not who specifically you talk to, but where you get your info and how they change from maybe the first one you did months ago to the one that you just released.
Yeah, it's a great question. I describe it this way. I do my top 50 ranking, which is probably, that's more what I care about because that's how I see the players. I do that with my eyes, and then I do mock drafts with my ears. So it's who I talk to, what I hear. An example of that might be, okay, I'm looking at it. I know that they need to take a quarterback. They're a team that needs a quarterback. It's between this guy and that guy. Well, I've got a buddy who's a coach. We're another team whose best friend happens to be the quarterback coach on this team. and he said that this ex-quarterback bombed his interview and he couldn't stand him. So, okay, well, I'll give him the other quarterback. I don't even know if he likes the other quarterback, but I know he doesn't like this one. So it's just that type of conversation. Those types of conversations lead to, where you end up throwing these guys in. And some of them, to be honest, I mean, you don't have any information, and you just look at it and say, okay, I know this GM. I know what he covets in players traditionally, so I can try and connect the dots that way.
Got a Vol since we're in Tennessee. Hendon Hooker, like what's your thoughts on him? Where would you have him going?
I'm a big fan of Hendon Hooker, and I've said it. If he had a healthy process, if he made it through the year healthy, and he was, even with the age, if it was just him being healthy and not having the ACL, I think he's a lock as a first-round pick.
Yeah.
And I still think there's a really good shot he ends up going in the first round. I put him in that one to Minnesota. Everything about the tape is great. You're going to have to navigate around that offense, which is, that old Baylor offense, which is kind of goofy. You literally, you've got guys lined up outside where they could hold hands with the coach on the sideline. That's how far they spread you out. So it's a little unrealistic in terms of the space that he gets to operate in versus what it'll be like in the NFL. But he can make every throw. He's got a strong enough arm. He's a really good athlete. Everything I know from folks down there, they rave about him in terms of intelligence and work ethic. All that stuff's there. He's a guy that I just would bet on. I think he's going to be he's got a really good opportunity to be a quality starting quarterback.
Are you more high on Tyree Wilson or Nolan Smith? Which one?
I would take Tyree Wilson. I love Nolan Smith. I wish he had been healthy, but Tyree Wilson is so much bigger and so much longer. He's going to be able to set the edge really easy out there. He's going to be scheme diverse. You can use him in a lot of different ways. He's a really good player. You can get a chance, none of us did, to see him work out at the Combine, but he's going to test like a freak too now. I know obviously Nolan ended up running the 4.39, which is just insane, but he's 237 pounds or whatever he is. It's just a much bigger, much longer guy who's still a legit in the 4.5s type athlete, which is pretty ridiculous.
Daniel Jeremiah with us on 3HL. Move the Sticks is the podcast. Let's go offensive line. Peter Skoronski, Paris Johnson, Broderick Jones, Darnell Wright. Like, how do you kind of shuffle those guys?
Titans fans are interested, needless to say.
Yes. No, it's a good group. I don't think, and I'll preface it by saying I don't think there's anybody that's at the level of Rashawn Slater when he was coming out, or Penei Sewell. I think that was a really, really good tackle group. I think this is a solid group. But for me, Skoronski is just the best football player. I ended up putting him inside as an interior guy. I think he can play tackle, much like the conversation. I remember having this conversation with Zach Martin when he was coming out. Zach Martin can play tackle, but Zach Martin be an all-pro guard, and he's going to end up actually being a Hall of Fame guard when it's all said and done. This kid's really, really refined, polished, strong. Elijah Vera Tucker, if you've seen what he's done early in his career with the Jets, I think this is that type of player. So he's plug and play. And then after that, really there's not much separating the next three guys. For me, I go Darnell Wright. I thought he had the best tape this year of the next three guys at right tackle at Tennessee. Had a great Senior Bowl, had an awesome combine. He's literally checked out every single box as you go through the process. And then you have Paris Johnson from Ohio State, who's a unbelievably athletic, quick-footed, just doesn't quite play with the same strength as Darnell Wright, and that worries me a little bit. And then you've got Broderick Jones, who's incredibly explosive and dynamic, and has the highest upside to me of this group, but maybe a little more raw than the other two guys. But all three of those guys are going to be starting tackles right away.
Let's go into Darnell Wright a little bit more because he played quite a bit at left tackle for Tennessee. Then they were able to move him over to the right tackle spot, and apparently like that is his spot because, I mean, ask Will Anderson about Darnell Wright, right? Like, so that's all the tape that he needed, I guess.
Yeah, no, he was awesome in that game. I always caution people on that too, though. There are, when you really boil it down to him one-on-one in pass pro against Will Anderson, you're talking about maybe a handful of snaps. On other ones, you've got Will Anderson going to the other side, or you've got some help. He absolutely did his job, and Will Anderson did not get a sniff, but this wasn't, 55 snaps of one-on-one on an island with Will Anderson. But take nothing away from Darnell. He was darn near flawless this year. Doesn't get beat. He's always in balance. He's huge. He's 30 pounds heavier than a lot of these guys we're talking about. So, and I didn't think he was that bad. I know a lot of people have made it sound like he just stunk the year before at left tackle. You can watch him against Georgia the year before. He hung in there just fine against all those dudes. So he is a really, really solid player. And again, I just, with what he did on the field, and then it makes the evaluation easier when you get to see him for a week at the Senior Bowl, and then you get also a chance to see the workout that he had at the Combine. It's just he's done everything he needs to do.
Let me ask you this: which conversation is easier to have with me if I'm a fan of the game at the quarterback spot? If Levis was to slip or be taken higher, which conversation is easier to have with me to soothe my emotions?
I would say I think I can make a stronger case for him to slide a little bit. I just didn't think the tape was great this year. And I know, you get in trouble when you find yourself trying to search for excuses. And he did, look, I know they all are, he did not have the same weaponry around him. He lost his top receiver. You look at the offensive line, lost 2 starters. They weren't as good. You look at the fact he plays in the SEC. He was beat up. He had a toe in his shoulder. I know all that stuff, but he didn't protect the football. He had fumbles. He took bad sacks. He forced footballs. Like, all that stuff still exists. I can't flush that from my brain. So I think there's upside there. I think he's got a chance to be a good player, but I also think there's considerable risk.
There you go. Hey, can you just book that, Honk?
Please, I knew it just wasn't
record
us.
that.
I'm on top of it.
I've been. That's exactly everything that you said is how I have felt about his game.
Yeah.
And
you get crushed for it. Do you get crushed for it, Daniel?
I get crushed for it.
Yeah, here's the problem is that you had Josh Allen, who had limited supporting cast, and, you had some issues there, and you try and excuse those away, and he's ended up being an unbelievable player. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's on that same level. I don't think he's as natural of a thrower as Josh Allen was. I don't think even the wow plays, the splash plays with Will Levis rise to the level of what we saw with Josh Allen and what he did coming out. So, again, I'm not saying there isn't a chance, that this guy's going to be a good player. I think there is a chance he can be a good player. I think there's a lot of development that needs to take place. And I think, especially compared to, Young and Stroud, I just think that, man, there's a lot more variance of what that result could look like.
Good stuff.
Love it.
So we have a chat that kind of goes with our show, and a couple of Titans fans want to hear from you about any wide receivers that, could be maybe later picks, second round pick. Titans are picking 42nd, second round?
Second round.
Yeah. Anyway, wide receivers that are maybe in kind of that round. You go that deep?
Yeah, no, I ended up having to do 400 players when this whole thing all said and done. So,
that makes my head hurt.
Yeah, I know. The funny thing is, it'd be like, I'll go to my kid's track meet, and my wife would be like, "Who won the last heat?" And I'll be like, that kid, who was it? Peter, Tommy? She's like, "How do you not know this kid's name?" I'm like, "I got 400 names rolling out of my head right now. I can't remember if the guy that runs the 400 is Peter, Billy, or Tommy. I can't remember." But look, if we stay right, you could stay right in the state. Cedric Tillman, to me, is a really, really good football player. And I was talking to an assistant GM last night about him, and we just got around to watching him, and was saying how underappreciated he thought he was in their draft room, that their grades were too low on him, for how big and physical he is. Tyler Scott is a speedster from Cincinnati. He can fly, a little bit undersized, but a really, really good vertical guy. I think you have a role for him. You know exactly what you're getting. Marvin Mims from Oklahoma, I think, is undervalued, is probably going to be a 4th-round pick, who's somebody that, I think he ran the high 4.3s. He's a complete route tree guy, can get in and out of breaks, and you go back and watch him with Caleb Williams the year before, and you can see, everything you need to see with him. So those are just a few of the names. This year, I don't think the high-end receiver class is where it's been in years past. I like Jackson Smith and Jigba. I like Jordan Addison. I really like Zay Flowers. Those guys are good players. But in my personal opinion, There isn't a Garrett Wilson. There isn't a Chris Olave. There isn't one. Obviously, isn't a Jamar Chase. There isn't a Justin Jefferson. There's not one of those in this particular draft class.
You mentioned one of those guys. Who do you have the Titans going with at 11 right now?
I think that's Smith and Jigba in the last one there.
Yeah,
playing a little bit of the Mike Vrabel Ohio State connection there, and also, looking at Robert Woods not working out there, and Robert Woods being a little more slight frame, probably a little similar to Addison, whereas Jackson Smith and Jigba gives you a little more strength, a little more physicality. And, obviously in the name that shall not be mentioned, who was a very good wide receiver in Tennessee, who is no longer there, may or may not have played in a Super Bowl last year. Maybe they appreciate a little bit more of the strength versus more of the slender route runner type.
You're just beating around the bush, Dan. You're just beating around the bush.
So you're saying that the Titans need to upgrade at wide receiver in that room?
I'm saying there's a potential that when you go into a game against the Tennessee Titans, there might not be a player that you circle and write on your paper, when you're playing them at this point in time.
Well,
Yet.
Yeah. How much do you look at what teams do during free agency? Does that kind of tip their hand sometimes, or does it not?
Well, I mean, look, Tennessee's a great example. I mean, you go out and pay Andre Dillard what they did, which surprised a lot of people around the league, that he got what he got. But that's a commitment to me that they want him in the mix there. So that, could lead you in another direction when you look at a receiver room that doesn't have a lot of dudes. I like Treylon Burks. I'm hopeful there, but they need more. They need more firepower, especially in the AFC. We were talking about this today on our podcast, which was if you're in the AFC and you look at the cyborg quarterbacks we have in this conference right now, if you can't get to 30 consistently, you have no shot of winning the Super Bowl. None. Because you're going to have to go through Mahomes, you're going to have to go through Burrow, you're going to have to go through Allen. We've got Trevor Lawrence coming up. You've got Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson. You're not stopping all these teams. You're going to have to outscore some of them. So you need more firepower. And as I look at Tennessee, just to be honest, they don't have enough firepower to compete with those top-end teams to run through the tournament.
Definitely true. So we'll see how it all plays out. Man, always enjoy the visits, Daniel. Good stuff, man. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you guys. Hey, baseball season's almost here, and my Padres are going to win the World Series, and then hopefully we get an expansion team in Nashville so we can go out there and watch some baseball out there as well.
There we go. We're all in for that.
Word around the campfire. It's going to happen one way or another. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate it.
All right, have a good day.
All right, Daniel Jeremiah, NFL Network draft experts, got the new mock draft out, and you can get it, NFL.com. Move the Sticks podcast at Move the Sticks. 3HL, more next, 104.5 The Zone. Go up to Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. That's where you need to go to get that next new vehicle, car, truck, SUV, Jeep, whatever you're looking for. They've got you covered. It's almost Jeep season. They've got a great selection on the lot. Also online. GuptaMotors.com is the website. Maybe you're looking for a Sprinter. You need to fit a bunch of people in a vehicle. They've got that too. Anything you need. Just go up there, tell them what you're looking for. They will help you, and there will be no pressure at all. They just want you in the vehicle that's right for you. So take your test drive, go inside. They'll help make the numbers work. It'll be that easy. I bought multiple vehicles from them. They're awesome people. You're really going to enjoy your time there. We've done multiple shows up there where we've watched people go through the process and leave happy. So check them out. 3450 Tom Austin Highway in beautiful Springfield, Tennessee, about 30 minutes from downtown Nashville. Take 24 west toward Clarksville, exit 35, about 9 miles outside the city, and you will be ready to rock and roll. Again, online, GuptonMotors.com. That's Gupton, Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram.
All right, what if you could be credit card debt-free in 10 days? Maybe save as much as $1,000 a month. Oh, yeah, count me in. Loan Pronto's all-new Express Equity Line of Credit program, just what you need. Don't have to do a full home refi. All you have to do is get into a portion of the equity that you have in your home, everybody in this area has in their home, and enjoy that super low monthly payment. Loan Pronto's Express Equity Credit Line helps you to close in 7 to 10 days. $50,000 loan will only cost you around $400 a month. So then you can use that money to pay off those high interest credit cards or Start a home improvement project if you want. Even if you did a total refi recently, even if you just bought your home, you could still tap into that equity with their fast and easy program. Also, Loan Pronto is awesome. Ask about their amazing VA loan program as well. Give them a call, 615-499-5780, loanpronto.com at 615-499-5780. Loan Pronto, equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Welcome back into 3HL right here on 104.5 The Zone.
Who
What's
are you
happening
for tonight? Good Lord. What do you got going over there?
I got a big chain going on,
Got
man.
bling, bling, bling.
But you know what? Outside of that, though, I've been sitting over here, man, since we talked to Daniel Jeremiah just a minute ago. I've been scavenging through these picks. And, man, I'm going to be real. Outside of 2019, we've been garbage.
Garbage.
Yeah, we've been garbage. Yeah, I think don't they make Make it much better than garbage. We've been garbage, man. I'm just looking like.
Are you cussing in French when you say garbage?
You feel what I'm saying? I'm glad Babsy cleaned it up because it could be taken that way. But that was just a southern slang in garbage. And it still sounds like. But yeah, garbage.
Thank you for not cussing in French.
That is literally a text message we got yesterday.
Dog, I'm looking at these picks, man.
Management is so scared of us, man.
I know. Management should be scared to pick. But now we got Rand in there. Oh, I'm speaking of the Titans management.
So do you want Daniel Jeremiah? Daniel Jeremiah's top 10. You want?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I would love his top 10.
All right. Number 1, Bryce Young. He mentioned that. He loves him at quarterback. Number 1 to Carolina. Number 2, C.J. Stroud, quarterback, Ohio State, to the Houston Texans in division. Best non-quarterback for him, same one as Mel Kiper. Well, Will Anderson Jr. Again, I love telling the story about us hanging out with him a little bit, just kind of watching him do interviews at SEC Media Days. And I come back up to Slay, who had been listening to more, and said, "What about this guy?" And you're like, "This dude different right here."
Yes,
he's just
a bit of it.
Yeah,
mentality, just
so. To Arizona at 3, Anthony Richardson, quarterback, Florida. What a story that is, man. What has he got? 13 starts.
Yeah, I'm just still
4th to the Colts.
Like he's one of those cars that you see on the showroom floor that you don't want to take home, but you love to drive it. You know what I'm saying? Like I really don't want the maintenance of that car. Does that make sense? In that pick, that top 10 pick,
right?
Like I'd love to have it.
You're okay if you get it at the half off sale.
Yes.
Then you can deal with it because you didn't invest as much as. Maybe. Yes.
Go.
I got it. See, I'm in consignment sale thought here, too.
Anthony Richardson has thrown more interceptions in his career than he has starts.
Like, it's so pretty riding through the park, on that sunny day. But when I get home, we sit in the garage and I only drive it once. It's like,
that's hard.
Why'd I buy it?
Yeah.
I got to have the maintenance done to it every month. Like, I'm cool. It's like a Rolls Royce. Not saying I got one or had one, but that's what I heard. As a friend.
I will say this. I told you this before.
Yeah.
I went, when I was back at I used to call it the other planet, the other radio station I used to work at. I went over to Subway to get lunch or something, and I saw this phenomenal looking BMW in the parking lot. I think, and I thought I saw you getting out of that car, but I didn't talk to you.
Probably
Did I ever tell you that?
Probably so.
Was that you? Am I right about the ride?
Benz probably.
Oh, it was a Benz, yes.
Yep, that's right.
That thing was phenomenal.
Yeah, you put spot on. That's when I was in my heyday.
That's European Jackson.
Family man now.
Now I drive a Nissan.
You got a family van at times. It's a little different now. But I just, like when you look at.
Why did I not talk to you?
You're crazy.
I am crazy.
Yeah,
I talk to you.
Because your car had a roof.
Yeah, probably so.
I was doing it wrong back then.
You saw what, Yor? You were playing around. That's what you were doing.
We could have been friends a long time.
Come on, Yor. You messed it all up. You had to wait till 2-3 years ago.
Jalen Carter, number 5. Yeah. Jalen Carter, number 5, defensive tackle out of Georgia. Like, these draft guys will tell you he is the best player in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Destructive is the word that I keep hearing. Man, remember we were sitting in here one day and they rolled tape on him behind Slay, and it was still going like 5 minutes later?
Yeah. I think that's going. I think that university is going to have some of the most intriguing players drafted because you don't know what they're going to become, but you know what the potential is. That makes sense. I hope. Like Nolan Smith, like he's, you know what I'm saying. Jalen Carter.
Why is Nolan Smith not?
That's why I asked him.
I keep seeing him available at 11. I'm not sure I wouldn't pull the trigger on that.
At that size, 4'3", and he raved about Tyree Wilson.
And he's a leader. That dude was a captain as an underclassman with all those dudes at Georgia.
That's all I'm saying. People that jump off the tape. Babs says she saw Tyree Wilson.
Yeah. Texas Tech.
Hers matched up with. Didn't we have Cosell on yesterday? Who we had on yesterday?
Cosell today.
Somebody was talking about Tyree Wilson yesterday.
Mel Kiper audio.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. And so it matched up with what Babs was saying.
Oh, no, Coach Mack.
It was Coach Mack, too, then.
Yeah.
Coach Mack was talking
That's
about
right.
him.
Yeah,
I thought he was actually, one of his coaches talked about the rawness.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I actually watched the game, I saw what he was talking about.
Right. And
I thought, I would worry about the dog
Yeah.
in him.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
You asked Coach Mack that too.
Yeah.
But that's that.
Who did they play? They played Baylor that
Okay.
game. It was Texas Tech Baylor. And I was looking for a little bit more of a motor.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. It does.
Because I asked Coach Mack. That's why Daniel Jeremiah's take on him surprised me, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of this surprises me.
Well, I would argue that you have seen some of these guys up close and personal and talked to people within these organizations about these guys, whereas some of these guys
are way more
haven't.
honest with me about it than they are probably.
Or they can be.
Or they can be,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Right, because a lot of these guys are talking to general managers and stuff like that. And
Right.
it's like secondhand information.
Right.
But, yeah, you've been there, done that. Daniel Jeremiah has him 7th to Oakland. Well,
Like I get
Las
I
Vegas.
get the size and the speed, but I just
It's like,
did you say Oakland?
I did.
I
did. Oaktown
I
357.
That's old
almost
school.
do that every time I talk
Yeah.
about the
All the way
Raiders.
back right there.
Oaktown 357, get loose.
Get loose now.
Number 6, Devin Witherspoon, cornerback, Illinois, to the Detroit Lions. I think Jalen Carter might end up at Detroit. I don't think he gets past Detroit.
If they do get him,
They're building something up there.
man, sneakily.
I know the coach
Sneakily
is
a
kind of
word, but yeah.
an entertainingly weird dude. But Christian Gonzalez, cornerback, Oregon. Coach Mack loves him.
Yep.
To the Falcons. Peter Skoronski to the Bears from Northwestern. Can play tackle, can play guard. It'll be interesting to see where he ends up. It sounds like guard with the short arms.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Little Tyrannosaurus Rex arms.
As long as you can hold, you got to be able to hold.
I mean, Tyrannosaurus Rex could get things done.
I wasn't. You scared of him?
He didn't need long arms.
No.
Just couldn't pick things up off the ground.
Yeah, he bite him.
How's that go?
So you're telling me that
Lucas-
Skoronski's going to have to bite his defenders when he's making sure they don't get to
whatever
10
works. Mike
We just
Tyson.
need it.
Lucas Van Ness, edge player from Iowa to the Eagles at 10. That's his top 10 for Daniel Jeremiah. More 3HL when we come back. If you want in, 615-737-1045. Talking draft, talking NCAA tournament. Big day here on 3HL. We'll be right back on 1045 The Zone.
Hey, what's happening, people? Superbook Sports. Yes, that is the site for me and the site for you if you want to get your wager on. Yeah, that little laugh, I don't really know what that means, but it just seemed like it was appropriate to go with that little spot I was doing. Anyway, Superbook. Ain't going to be a laughing matter if you win, and you're going to win if you're listening to the parlay. What you need to first do before you even get involved in it is go to Superbook Sports app. Download it on your phone or visit superbook.com to wager and win today. And you can make it all happen without a question. Superbook has a team of dedicated odds makers behind the counter in Las Vegas setting all the prices. And we're talking about the guys with decades of experience, people, showing you why Superbook has the best odds around. That's right. And then I'm going to show you right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Yes, well, I got the best odds around. And you can argue. You can argue with me if you want to, but it don't matter. Anyway, you can go against me and still win. Why wouldn't you want the best company in the business to be one who handles those best? That's what I want to know. And why wouldn't you want to be a part of the parlay? Visit superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem, you know what to call. 1-800-889-9789. When we collect our winnings, we say, book it.
Brentwood Jewelry, my friends over there, are going to help you out with any of your jewelry needs and your gifting responsibilities throughout the course of the year. 7012 Church Street in the heart of Brentwood, just off Franklin Road. Ron Slade just went in there and purchased a ring.
Sure did.
Brentwood Jewelry. With new hours in 2023, just want to make sure you take note of this every once in a while. They are off closed Sundays and Mondays now. Open Tuesday through Friday from 9 until 6, Saturdays from 9 until 4. Do you have a family heirloom that's precious to you, but maybe it's not a style or a piece that you would wear currently. It's hard to let someone take your priceless heirloom and transform that into something you can wear every day, but that's exactly what Brentwood Jewelry is known for. Creating customized pieces. They can transform and create a personalized piece that is unique as the person who left you that keepsake. Customize a piece for an anniversary, special birthday, or just because. Brentwood Jewelry has the best selection of gems and diamonds from which you can choose. Just pick your stones, meet with one of their designers, and create a custom piece that will exceed your expectations. Brentwood Jewelry, located in Brentwood, in the heart of Brentwood, just off Franklin Road, 7012 Church Street East. Exceptional style, exceptional deals every day for more than 50 years. Visit BrentwoodJewelry.com.
Good afternoon from the Superbook.com Sports Desk. FAU, Tennessee, Sweet 16 happening tonight. In fact, we begin our coverage of the Sweet 16 at 5:30 here on 104.5 The Zone. But Tennessee and FAU are going to be tipping off at 8 p.m. here on 104.5 The Zone. Winner of this game will go on to take on either Kansas State or Michigan State in the Elite Eight on Saturday. Dylan Cole, free agent, former Tennessee Titan, is now a Chicago Bear. Last season for the Titans, he started 8 games, had 64 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, and a sack. And just a few moments ago, the Tampa Bay Bucks announced that they are releasing former Titans kicker Ryan Suckup, who is 31 of 38 last season. But 5 of those 6 misses or 7 misses actually happen to be from beyond 50 yards. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Vols, the flagship station for your Tennessee Titans, and home to 3HL. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Yo, what up? 3HL 1045 The Zone. 4 o'clock hour has begun. Ron Slay sitting over here with his bling. Good old Rocket Thompson. He's got a big gold chain.
This kind got no room.
With a big power
This
team.
kind got no room.
And Don Davenport,
No
it
room.
is bedazzled.
No room. No room.
Yes. And I did not do it.
Good old Rocket Thompson. Could you have done as good a job?
No, that's pretty good.
It is pretty good.
Do you know
isn't
the patience it takes to do this? Anybody?
It's a virtue.
Come here. Well,
So
I
tell
mean,
my kid.
I guess I'll come look at it the next break. I was just going to look close at it. I mean, seriously.
No, it's piece by piece.
Yeah, so I have bedazzled Baby Bab's Halloween costume this past October. She was, who was she? She was Princess Leia, so I stoned her entire belt.
I
And it-
stoned her.
It took forever
Stone baby.
because I had to do it with tweezers and
Yeah.
individual glue, and that is what they did with that.
Was there any wine involved in that little project?
Maybe just a
I
little bit.
mean, good Lord.
And the outfit was white, so I had to be super careful. Red wine on a.
Why are there red drops? Oh, that's blood.
No,
That's from the Battle of Evermore or whatever.
No, that's where you just add in more rhinestones, cover it up.
She is Dawn Davenport,
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen. Right, Hawk?
I'm the master stoner. All those dance mamas out there know what I'm talking about. Rhinestone and bows.
I'm a master stoner.
I'm a master stoner.
Coming up.
Everybody on the station never expected that.
No,
reply
at all.
to come from Don.
At all. Master Stoner.
Phrasing, Davenport, phrasing.
My show sheet, y'all. Coming up on the show, I have no idea. I just know Greg Cosell at 420
Yes.
and Big Savage, Ramon Foster
At Cinque.
at 5 o'clock.
That's right.
So we're doing offensive
He's in the
linemen
chat, too.
with
He
Greg
is.
Cosell.
What they're
Yes.
saying.
This is an important one. So I'm going to need you guys to focus. We're going to need to get to Cosell right when he's on the line,
Okay.
ready to go, because this is a big one for Titans fans. We're going through offensive linemen in this year's draft.
I thought you were saying this is the Big Gun and Knife show.
Yes.
But yeah, we'll definitely do that.
be a
NCAA
good
tournament Sweet 16 coming up tonight. You've got action right here on the Zone. Coverage begins at 5:30. We've got some great games. Tennessee, man, I feel really good about the matchup from a Tennessee perspective, Slay Dog. But then and then like you break it down, and I feel good about it. You've given opportunities for Florida Atlantic to have success and where they can have success, though.
Without
But
question.
listen to Tom Crean yesterday break down the game. I feel really good about Tennessee. And then I woke up today. And I think it's like
Come on,
that
y'all.
battered Vol syndrome.
Yeah, you gotta get
Tennessee
out
is
of it.
1-7 in Sweet 16 games.
So what?
They've been to the Elite Eight once.
So what? So what?
You understand the concern, though.
No, zero. I don't. I don't understand
And I'm
any
usually
concern.
that guy. Like I brought up James Franklin the other day when he was rolling around town talking about winning games and all this stuff, and everybody's like, "Yeah, Vanderbilt's never won." And he's like, "What does that have to do with me?" And I'm that way. I'm that guy. Like,
Yep.
move forward.
Yeah, I just.
But I
hey.
can't help but be nervous about it from a Tennessee perspective.
Yeah, but you can't be. That's the fan you letting take over in there. The basketball enthusiasts would tell you what they're gonna win because of what they're supposed to be able to go out
I
and
don't
do.
think it's a good matchup for Florida Atlantic.
No, I don't either.
The thing about it, and this is what I want to ask you, having played the sport at that level, is how much will it benefit Florida Atlantic for really playing with house money, like having nothing to lose?
Well,
I mean, they're in the Sweet 16.
yeah, without question.
Isn't that the case for everybody right now, though?
That's the way I look at it, Babsy. Like everybody,
Unless
if you're
you're
able
Bama.
to advance, yeah, because you're most definitely expected. But if you're not a 1 seed and you make it to this point, like the ball's bounced your way, you've had luck on your side, you had some breaks, and you are all about surviving and advancing. So as long as you keep that at the forefront and don't start to look at, man, look at this matchup, this 6'10 versus 6'4, or, and start to break it down, because the game will never go that way. It's just no way possible. But what you can depend on, what you can depend on is previous games that have taken place in the tournament. And that's what I always look at. I really don't look at what happened when Tennessee played Arizona and how they were used.
Miami's a good example. Miami struggled in the first game,
Right.
almost lost, and then looked great in the second game.
Yep. So
Against
you got
a
to take that
better
ride.
opponent.
Yeah, you got to take that ride and believe that the majority of the time, hot hands ride through tournaments. So that's what it's about. It's more so than anything playing hot at the right time. You got to be able to ride that hot hand through the tournament. And there's going to be some bad breaks, but you got to be able to get through those and not look so much at the roster versus roster thing. You know what I'm saying? I think that's where things get lost and people start guessing because they're all going to Madison Square Garden. Nobody's had a game there yet. So,
boy, and that will be a big venue for
man, without question. But you got guys that have
because Tennessee has been there.
Yeah,
right. So they got older guys that have actually played there. Florida Atlantic, they're going to get in there and kind of look around. I would think. I don't know.
That's what you expect.
Yeah. Lonzo on the chat. I'm a master stoner also, Babs.
Yeah.
Should she have made that as an announcement? That if you missed it. If you missed it earlier, Babs said, I'm a master stoner.
Somebody's
nobody
about to get new intro music.
Nobody realizes that I'm talking about gluing rhinestones onto things.
Oh, that part's not important.
Right.
What's the story?
The other line that you threw out there is funny.
Yeah. We're only reading the headlines, Babs. We're not reading the story. We're reading the headlines.
Don't let the truth get in the way of a good story.
Oh, geez. I tell you what.
Ryan says, I'm worried. I'm legit worried.
But also you got to add on to that what he said. I'm worried because this is the game that we lose. You gotta get people. It's us fans, us analysts, commentators, whatever it may be. We have nothing to do with the game, people.
Oh, I say that all the time. I totally agree with you. But I'm not the guy that I got to wear the same thing I wore last time. Because. I will do that sometimes.
You do? Yeah.
It doesn't affect the game, man.
Exactly, it doesn't. But that's the part of me being able to engulf myself into the atmosphere of the game. But as a player, when you're looking around, we don't hear none of this. You don't hear any of this, dog. Like, once you get locked in on the venue, you locked in and you going out there to play against your matchup. So to say this is a game that we would lose, if that's the case, they're not even supposed to be here. Like, what's a game that Florida Atlantic would lose? If
do you think part of it
long history like that?
Do you think part of it too is that like Tennessee against Duke, like they could not have scripted that out better? Like that was almost perfect.
Yeah,
right?
but how do you get to this point against Florida Atlantic, knowing that Duke is a game that you're supposed to lose too?
Right, but I think we've all seen Tennessee this year like throw out a performance like that and then come back with just an egg. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you can't take
Tournament's
that.
different. Is that what you're telling me?
Totally different. You can't take that. You just can't. I'm sorry.
Back to Titan stuff. If you want in, 615-737-1045. Kevin up in Hopkinsville. What's up in Hoptown?
Yeah.
Hey, not much. How y'all doing?
Great.
Good. I got a question for y'all. Now, you've seen all the roster moves that the Titans have made, both the signings and the starters that we've lost. Do you see anything positive from this coming season? Do you think that we'll improve on last year's record?
I think it's way too early to tell.
I agree.
I do think that we kind of all agree that Rand Carthon just like kind of low-key just had a really good beginning to the free agency season as they were able to put some numbers in some key positions. And now offensive line, at least on paper, doesn't look nearly as questionable as it did going into free agency. And now you really only need maybe like one guy legitimately as a starter to still look for maybe with that 11th pick, unless Dylan Radins can play guard. And I don't know. But also from the linebacker perspective, I think Arden Key was like a sneaky good pickup there.
I agree there.
And he's pissed off, kind of like Autry
wants to prove himself, chip on the shoulder kind of guy.
Yeah. And Aziz, we had Aziz on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And he was phenomenal. I can't wait to see what that guy has to do. So, here's the beauty of the NFL. Without a few limitations, they sell hope better than anybody. And so, like, you can have an opinion in my way of thinking, Kevin, and appreciate the phone call, that like, oh, it's going to be awful, it's going to be awful, it's going to be awful. Then you go through the free agency, you go through the draft, and then you start thinking, oh, maybe they'll get in the playoff, maybe they can win the division. I don't know. It just feels like the NFL is the best at offering hope. So that's kind of where I am.
I'm with you on it's way too early to tell.
Way too early.
Yep. I think that there is more that's going to be done and happen, and so it's hard to say, especially without knowing where they are in the draft. So, but listen, there's been times before where I've been super disappointed in free agency with the Titans, extremely excited about what they did in the draft, and then they stink.
Right.
You know? I mean, it's been 18 years that I've covered and or followed this franchise. And so I have learned in that time that you just don't know for sure, you know, because there have been years where I was super excited and it has been a debacle. So I think it is. It's way too early to tell. I think you have to wait for the draft and kind of see what other pieces fall.
Who wants to wait, Babsy? We just want to assume.
I mean, we can talk about it all, but
patience is a virtue.
That's right. It is.
You know, I'm such a patient person, too. I mean,
I don't know, Babs. I think once you had a baby, you got a little more patient.
I have, yeah, because you have to.
You
don't have a choice.
Been forced to have patience.
Otherwise, I would have lost my ever-loving mind this morning when she was throwing a fit and throwing her head against the floor because she didn't want to go to school.
Dude, she's going to concuss herself.
I know. That's what I told her.
Was she dropping S-bombs and stuff?
No, she didn't drop an S-bomb. Luckily.
You, Aaron Rodgers.
I did.
I'm under the directive from one Don Davenport to break on time and get to Greg Cosell.
Sorry.
So that is what we are going to do.
That
Greg
is
Cosell,
what we're doing.
the best film evaluator in football. We'll talk about the NFL draft offensive line prospects next. 3HL 1045 The Zone.
What's happening, people? I think it's safe to say that trying to lose weight on your own is difficult. Yeah, I'd attest to that. Trying to figure out how to eat healthy is difficult as well. Check that box as well. One diet saying it's all about the carbs, another one saying it's all about the fats, and some even saying it's all right if you just eat less often. Well, I got to tell you, that ain't the road I went. I went with Awaken 180 weight loss, and the reason I went with them is because I got tired of going past that mirror like, man, what is going on? I need to fix something. And the first week, what did I do? Drop 14 pounds. 14 pounds. I'm talking about all water weight just off of me. And it started to look better. So my mind as an athlete was still conditioned to risk and reward. So now hard work got me a great reward, and I'm pushing further, man. You also going to get a coach to help you. Coach Sam helps me a lot, tweaks my menu, and makes sure I stay on task and holds me accountable. The results are noticeable, whether it's me seeing myself in the mirror or me tightening the notch on my belt, whatever it may be for you. Whatever floats your boat, I'm telling you what floats mine. If you want the same results I'm having, I suggest giving Awaken 180 Weight Loss a call. Talk to them. Ask some questions. Determine if Awaken 180 is right for you. Schedule your Awaken 180 at-home consultation by calling 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
We had an awesome time at the Nashville Preds game that we went to as a family. Took the whole family and had a ball, which we always do every time we watch the Preds play. And guess what? You can too. We're already looking ahead to next year, and you can grab season tickets for the 2023-24 season. They're on sale now. It's the 25th anniversary for Out the Preds next season. How about that? Now, if you're thinking, okay, we can't afford a full season ticket package, it doesn't matter. They have other options for you. You can do a full season ticket package. You can do a half. You can only do a quarter season plan. All of those are available with the Preds. If you do join the Loyal Legion today, become a season ticket member, then you will get the best seat locations, the best pricing, 50% off discounts on concessions throughout the season. You get up to 6 extra bonus tickets to select games in the 2023-24 season. You will get priority access to the 2023 NHL Draft and Awards Show, exclusive season ticket citizen gifts throughout the season. And that is all on top of enjoying the Nashville Predators in their 25th anniversary season. Learn more, NashvillePredators.com/season tickets. That's NashvillePredators.com/season tickets.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Britt Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay. Abbreviated edition, NCAA Tournament Basketball Sweet 16 coverage begins here on The Zone at 5:30. Tennessee plays at 8 o'clock against Florida Atlantic. Vol Network coverage at 7:30. Producer Joe Hunk in the control room. The best film evaluator in football, Greg Cosell, joins us as he does every Thursday at 4:20. Greg, what's up? How are you?
Doing great, guys. How are you?
Doing well. A lot of Titans fans interested in today's topic, offensive line, and appreciate you hopping on to dive into some of these guys because that could very well be the pick at 11 for the Titans.
What do you think? You think it will be?
I hope.
I mean, if I had to put money on it, I mean,
I think it should be.
Probably, yeah, it probably should be. They probably, unless you think Dylan Radins can be a starter for 17 weeks in the NFL at guard.
I think that would be very questionable as we speak right now.
All right.
But, maybe they know more than I do, but I think that would be – I don't think there's anything we've seen of his career up to this point that would say he's our starting guard and we're good to go.
Right. In totality, before we dive into some of these prospects, in totality, what do you think about offensive line positionally in this draft?
Well, I mean, I haven't seen, I still have 5 weeks to go, so I haven't seen everybody. And usually interior offensive linemen, I kind of get to last.
Later,
I've seen a lot of the tackles. I think that it would probably be considered by most pretty good tackle group, but there are some that are thought of highly that in watching their tape, I didn't quite see them that way, but I guess we'll find out. I mean, they're going to be drafted because the offensive tackle is a premium position. So offensive tackles get drafted.
Well, let's start with the guy that everybody talks about first, offensive tackle or offensive guard. I'm curious to get your take on this. Peter Skorinski from Northwestern. What do you think?
And that's going to be in the eye of the beholder.
Okay.
He's a really interesting guy. I did him pretty recently too. So, this is a guy, first of all, he's a high-level competitive guy. I mean, he competes on every single play. He's physically tough. He's mentally tough. He plays with an edge. He's a real technician. He understands angles and leverage in the run game. He's got efficient footwork and balance and hand usage in the pass game. His body type and length are that of an offensive guard. He's not built like a tackle. He's got short arms, and he's kind of got a compact and stout build, which fits the guard position more than the tackle position. But he played left tackle for 3 seasons in the Big Ten at Northwestern, started, I believe, 33 games, I think. He plays with really good balance, body control, execution. I think he'll be in the eye of the beholder. If someone said to me, what do you think? I think he's a guard, but, he could well be a tackle in the eyes of others.
Greg Cosell with us on 3HL. Offensive tackle Paris Johnson from Ohio State. Interesting prospect there because he took over for NPF, right, at left tackle.
Yep.
But may project as a right tackle in the league?
I don't know about that,
Okay.
But he's another guy that he played right guard in 2021 and left tackle this year in 2022. He's another guy that's very compact. I think he's a little stiff. He struggles with speed to power pass rush. If you watch him against, I think it was Iowa, Lucas Van Ness just ate him up with speed to power.
Okay.
I thought he was challenged on the edge too often. That usually gets worse in the NFL. I know a lot of people are talking about him as pretty much a given as a high pick, as a tackle, this left tackle, right tackle thing to me, I started talking about this years ago. I think that delineation is no longer really that relevant in the NFL.
Really? That's interesting.
The way teams pass rush. I mean,
okay.
If you're a team playing good pass rushers, Nick Bosa lines up on the right side of the offense. Von Miller lines up on the right side of the offense. I just don't know why that's important anymore. And unless you're a big believer in the blind side idea that, hey, the quarterback can't see the guy behind him. Maybe that's, what some think. But Johnson to me I think there are some flaws in his game that would need to be corrected in order for him to be a higher level left tackle in the NFL.
Broderick Jones from Georgia. I think all Georgia players have something swirling around them, and I'm not talking about anything off the field. I'm talking about the question marks that come with the players on the field. The production, it seems to be there and pop off tape, if you agree, Greg, but it's always like a question mark on the back end of it.
Yeah, well, Slay, Jones is a fascinating guy because he looks the part. He's long. His arm length is really long. He's got a wingspan that's long. He ran really well. He's very athletic in space. And that's what people look at. When he gets out, let's say, on if he pulls outside, if he gets outside in the screen game, he looks really, really good doing that. But when you watch him in pass protection, he has a glaring tendency to bend at the waist and to drop his head. And, I'm not an offensive line coach, so I can't sit here and say, hey, that could be fixed, no problem, or maybe that can't be fixed. I don't know. I mean, clearly evaluators and coaches will like his overall athleticism and length. I thought his tape was really erratic and wildly inconsistent, especially in pass pro, and I just can't get the visual of him dropping his head, you can't do that, because then you can't see. And that's a little bit of a problem.
That's
quite a big problem.
It's a tendency. It's a habit, right? It's probably not something you can coach out of him easily.
Well, maybe you can, but easily is the right word, Dawn.
Right.
I don't think that happens easily, but he does it all the time, pretty much. I mean, I didn't chart, I probably watched, I'm looking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I watched 9 Georgia games on offense. Okay.
Oh,
so
geez.
I didn't chart the number of, times he did it, but it was a very, very high percentage.
Yeah. Darnell Wright, a guy who it seems like is kind of climbing the draft boards, or at least more people are really talking about him right now. What have you seen?
Well, all you have to do is watch the Alabama game and see that every single time he was one-on-one with Will Anderson, he stoned him. Wow. And, that's his game tape. That's really strong. Wright's an interesting guy. I watched him last summer when he played left tackle in the 2021 season, and I didn't particularly like him. I thought that he was heavy-footed and sluggish. And then he played right tackle this year. I thought he was really good. It could be a comfort thing. It is a different position. People just say, oh, tackle, but it's different because just the way your body has to move, it's different. And I think he's a really strong player. He's got great strength to anchor. Again, he looks like a guard just with his body type and his frame, but he played right tackle really, really well this year. And, he played in the SEC versus quality edge rushers, and some of his pass protection reps were really, really dominant. So I think he's going to be seen as a right tackle. And as I said, against Alabama, he just dominated Will Anderson.
I'm not sure. Do y'all know, did he lose weight or do something different from last season
to this season?
That I don't know. He came in at the combine, he was 333.
That's about
6'5" and an eighth. Yeah. I don't know what he was last year when he played left tackle.
I think you're onto something that he's just more comfortable over there. I don't know.
I can tell you right now that you look at someone like Penei Sewell, who in his first year playing right tackle for Detroit, which was 2021, because he was a left tackle at Oregon, he did not look very good at all. And then this year at right tackle, he looked much, much better. He played really well. I think there's just an adjustment. It's not the same thing. Different hands in the ground, different kick slide foot. You anchor on a different leg because you tend to anchor on your inside leg. So all those things have to come into play when you just talk about a guy switching from, right tackle to left tackle or left tackle to right tackle.
Osiris Torrance, a lot of people raved about him coming back from the combine. What are the thoughts about him on film?
He's a guard. He's a guy I have watched.
Okay.
A lot of the SEC guys I have watched just because I see a lot of, there's so many guys in the SEC.
Yeah.
And he only played 1 year at Florida because he transferred. He started all 3 years at Louisiana and wanted to play at a higher level of football. There's not a lot of mystery to this kid. He's got size, he's got mass, he's a power guard. His game is built on engagement, physicality, much more than athleticism and finesse. And he's got a really wide frame, so that benefits him given the way he plays. Now, this kid's a good prospect. There's a repetitive consistency to the way he plays. It shows up in every single game. And I think that will define him well and bode well for him in the NFL. Now, he has an occasional struggle with quickness off the ball, which most guards do anyway. That's why they're guards. And if he can't control a quick pass rusher early in the down with his strong hands, sometimes he'll get beat. But this guy's a really good prospect. To me, he had the look and feel of a day one starter in the NFL.
Yeah, wow.
Slay, your brother, Ramon Foster, big fan of his too, right?
Yes, he is.
And Ramon played a long time.
He likes him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be curious. I mean, because he knows more about playing guard than I do, obviously. So, but I think he's a really good prospect, and I think that style of play really, fits in the league because he's physical and he's powerful.
Don't sell yourself short.
I was going to say, I think both of y'all are pretty knowledgeable. Is there a sleeper, maybe offensive tackle out there for you?
Oh, I'm trying to think of the guys I've watched a lot of people, Dawn. My brain
I'm sorry.
It's a little mushy right now with all this.
I'm looking at several names like Tyler Steen at Alabama, Cody Mock at North Dakota State, maybe Jalen.
Yeah, I haven't
Duncan.
done Cody Mock yet. His name's on a list. There's two guys who I think have some concerns, but I like. One is Matthew Bergeron from Syracuse.
Just about to ask.
The other is Jalen Duncan from Maryland. Those are two guys who I need to do more work on, but my initial look, I think's positive. Bergeron's another guy people are probably going to say is a guard. And in fact, when they played Florida State this year, Jared Verse, who ended up going back to Florida State, and people thought he'd come out, he gave Matthew Bergeron a lot of problems. Duncan is a guy that, another guy that really kind of looks the part, athletic. Those are two guys. They're not going to be first-round picks, but I think with good coaching, good development, Duncan's definitely a tackle. Bergeron, you could argue, some will definitely see him moving inside to guard, but those are two guys that, in my cursory look, stuck out to me.
I've read where Anton Harrison from Oklahoma may be.
He's another guy.
Maybe more of a project guy. What do you think about him?
Yeah, I've got to do a little more work on him in the run game.
Okay.
The reason people might say he's a project guy because he's not a high-level athlete for the position. He's not one of those guys you look at and go, wow, he's really smooth, but he's got long arms. He ran really, really well. And again, people assume that because you run fast, that means you're a really good athlete. That's not necessarily true. There's different definitions of athleticism, as you guys know. So just he ran a 4.98 at 6'4", 315. That's really impressive. I thought in pass protection he was good. Because I watched a lot of him in pass pro. I have to see him a little more in the run game. But he was used as a puller in the run game, and often tackles are not used as pullers in the run game. So I would say he was more efficient than purely athletic, but I think he's a good prospect. It's hard for me. I've had conversations with offensive line coaches over the years, and they're fascinating conversations because, I always try to learn from these guys because they obviously know more, but different guys speak about positions differently. And so it's always hard to know how an offensive lineman will be seen by a specific coach and a specific team.
Ohio State put a bunch of offensive linemen out recently. They've got a lot more in this draft too. DeJuan Jones. Have you taken a look at him?
I have taken a look at him, and he's hard to miss. This guy was 6'8" and a quarter, 374. Okay,
that's huge. That's a house.
His arm length was 36 3/8. His wingspan was like Giannis in the NBA. I mean, it was ridiculous. I think he's a pretty good prospect. That size is really rare. That's a trait. Okay, and that more often than not compensated for his what you'd say is less than ideal athleticism, but he's got massive size, that almost 37-inch arm length, and wingspan that's 87 plus. I mean, think about that. That's ridiculous. So I think that this guy to me is really intriguing. It's really hard for edge rushers to beat him to the high side, to the outside. And that limits the pass rush options for rushers because now they have to think about how they're going to attack this guy. So he's going to be interesting to me where he's drafted. just because, like I said, there are some big guys in the league. Orlando Brown just got, just got traded. Was he traded? Yeah, he was traded to Cincinnati. But obviously, he was the left tackle for the Chiefs for a Super Bowl win. So, those guys are really hard to get around.
Man, great stuff. That was a great breakdown of offensive line. I know, Titans fans are paying a lot of attention to a lot of those names, so really appreciate it.
I think they're going to need,
a couple,
no matter
probably.
what they decide to do offensively, whether it's the same or different, they're going to need some upgrades on their O-line because they lost people. So you got to line people up, and you need bodies, and you need competition.
I agree.
Wide receiver, too.
Yep.
Receiver and O-line.
Yeah, and there's always a lot of receivers that, are in a draft. And a lot of times you can get, you get a receiver in the 3rd or 4th round who ends up being a good player.
Yep. Definitely true. At Greg Cosell on Twitter, Greg Cosell with NFL Films and all kinds of things out there. Must follow on Twitter. Thank you, Greg. Great stuff, man. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Cosell.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, at Greg Cosell. When we come back, more 3HL. Big Savagery coming up at 5 o'clock. That's Ramon Foster for those that don't know. But if you know, you know. We'll be right back. 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Buddy Allen Carpet One, your flooring experts. Here's the beautiful thing about the Beautiful Guarantee. They are locally owned and operated right here in Nashville for more than 55 years. Zach, Jenna, and Judson Allen are all related. They're brothers and sister, and they are in the store every day. So they are there for every bit of your project, and they are delighted to help you and to see that thing through the installation. Unlike the big box stores, they will handle that in-house in Donaldson, 2405 Lebanon Pike. 615-883-3289. BuddyAllenCarpet1.com.
Let's go back to 1983. You got parachute pants. You got Michael Jackson. You got music on cassettes.
2-year-old Slay.
You had 2-year-old Slay. Good Lord. That's how long Two Rivers Ford has been around. This is their 40th anniversary. 83 was when they opened their doors as a local business right here in Middle Tennessee. And Two Rivers Ford has always been a big part of this community and this radio station and local sports and local charities. You name it, Two Rivers Ford is there for it. They'll always step up and do whatever this community needs. If you're from here, you know that, especially because they've been around for 40 years. And if you're not, here's what Two Rivers Ford is all about. What you see is what you get. Non-commissioned salespeople, transparent and upfront. They don't pressure you. They just help you. Great prices. They sell below MSRP on all non-specialty new Fords, and they make car buying easy. You want to shop on the lot. You want to shop online. You want to call and say, this is exactly what I want. Make it happen. They will do it all, and they will do whatever you need to make sure that you are happy. And finally, Two Rivers Ford has also asked me to say thank you to all of you, all their customers and this community for the 40 great years. They're loving the ride and they are excited about the next 40 years. Looking for a car, truck, SUV, minivan, you name it. Two Rivers Ford has it, and you'll love working with them. Two Rivers Ford, powered by Ford, driven by people.
It is that time of year again when the housing market starts to heat up with rates and home prices finally coming down over what they were last year. Accurate Mortgage is predicting that competition for homes among buyers may be at least as fierce as it was last year, if not more. So now is the time to get pre-qualified for an Accurate Mortgage home loan so you can be one step ahead of your competition and win the house of your dreams. Accurate Mortgage has many options to help make your new mortgage more affordable, such as their payment reduction mortgage, perfect for easing into your new payment. For more details, visit Accurate Mortgage today, AccurateMTG.com. Paul M. said, the Accurate Mortgage team were amazing in getting our refinance closed quickly with a minimum of fuss. I will not go to another team for my mortgage needs. They have made me a customer for life. Again, for more details, visit Accurate Mortgage today, AccurateMTG.com. Accurate Mortgage Group, a division of Ecopia LLC, is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 4664. 3HL 1045 The Zone. Britt Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay.
Hey!
Babs, get out of your phone, man.
Yeah, it's a phone, Babs.
Oh,
She is sickening.
Is this an all-female thing that all women love gross pimple popper person stuff?
Oh, I wasn't watching that. I was watching Brutal Trauma. My Instagram feed, Brutal Trauma.
Flesh crawl.
Man.
Babs is over there like, you know what's gross? Chemical burns.
Yeah, like, this isn't this bad. It's just skin just bubbled up.
I'm like, look at this trampoline accident. Yikes.
You know what's bad? Nuclear explosion fallouts.
Yeah. She goes, how did a bee get stuck in this guy's ear? Like, how does that happen?
I'm upset. So this goes back to my whole, I thought I wanted to be an ER doctor for a second.
Oh, my Lord.
This goes back to that. Like, I will sit and watch, like, trauma and medical stuff and stuff that, like, Mr. Babs cannot stand to even see out of, like, the side of his vision, and I am fascinated by it. Like, the foot that got cut off in the trampoline accident, like, just
what did
watching
she try
how
to
they treat that.
What did she try to show you during the break? And you were like, get out of here.
A tattoo that got infected and bubbled up. Like, she should be in charge of the haunted houses when they come around.
Kenny the mailman joins us now. Kenny, what's up? How are you?
Fellas, I got a special gift for y'all.
Oh, what's up, Kenny?
Would y'all like a funny Daniel Jeremiah story to tell him the next time y'all speak to him?
Definitely.
I don't know if you know it. His dad is world famous pastor David Jeremiah. Do y'all know that?
No.
Shadow Mountain Church in San Diego. He's had over 100 New York Times bestseller books. He's very articulate, well spoken, and he's told this story. I've seen him live 2 or 3 times at book signings. You know, people line up and ask him in-depth spiritual questions and everything, but now it's got about every 5th guy will get to him and say, Brother David, who does Daniel think the Jets are going to pick? And he just laughs, and one guy said, would you mind calling and asking him who the Lions are going to pick? And he said, well, I'm sort of busy, sir. And he said, I'll wait. So, David Jeremiah, his father, gets a kick that Daniel is now more famous than he is.
I like
and
that.
I also would like.
I had no idea.
Can you imagine little Daniel hiding his rap CDs now from Pastor Dan?
Oh, yeah, good point. Thank you, Kenny.
Yeah, y'all have a great day.
Right. Yeah, Daniel Jeremiah with the NFL Network.
Did you look it up?
I haven't.
Oh.
You looked it up?
No.
I thought Hunk was on top of Rose. I mean,
Hunk ain't on top of much today.
Phrasing.
Look at him.
I didn't mean it that way, Hunk. Sorry.
There's the word "it" in between those. I'm on top of it, Rose.
You're not on top of Rose.
No, I'd be in a lot of trouble.
Oh,
guess what?
Man, yeah, no. So Daniel Jeremiah with the NFL Network was with us, and he said that he loves driving around LA and seeing street signs of streets that were in rap songs. He used
Ain't nothing like it.
What were you gonna say? Sorry.
I guess what I watched last night. It really had nothing to do with what we talking
Belly.
about. Nope.
What?
Hello,
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, that's Mrs. Doubtfire. Yeah,
I can't do it.
Amazing.
Slay. I cry in that movie, man.
Chris cried last night. She liked crime movies. I don't understand it.
Why do you cry in that movie?
At the end, I guess when I don't know, why would you cry in that movie?
Because he's trying to be with his kids and trouble and all that stuff.
I think that's what Chris made.
You cry in like.
That's what I'm saying.
You like romantic comedies.
Yeah,
I mean,
cry. I guess another one. Another one to watch.
Over there.
Neighbors.
Hey,
dog.
Maybe I have seen that.
I don't know that one.
Seth Rogen.
Oh, Seth Rogen.
I think it's how you say.
He's
hilarious. Hey man, I couldn't even go to sleep. Were
you like laughing out loud?
Hilarious. Do you hear me?
I have to look into that.
Hey man, it's sickening funny. Like, come on, y'all. Y'all ain't gotta be funny every piece of the movie. It's good.
By the way, David Jeremiah has authored 39 books.
Wow. Huh? Daniel Jeremiah's dad.
39?
That's a lot of books.
What is he writing about? What is he writing?
He's a preacher.
Oh, okay. All right.
Are they motivational?
Why the nativity? What in the world is going on?
See, when you become a pastor, Slay, then you can write a bunch of books.
Yeah, listen, I was supposed to get anointed No, it was not anointed. I was supposed to get
ordained.
Ordained, thank you. I've been anointed before too, but I was supposed to be ordained 2 years ago.
There's a big difference.
I need to hit my
there.
FF up, man, and let her ask her like, what happened with me getting ordained? Emily
don't know, my
Graham, what happened
brother's-
with me getting ordained?
You started doing this show, I guess.
Yeah.
No,
my
that's
brother is
even more
ordained.
reason.
He married us.
Did he?
Mm-hmm.
That's all right.
Your brother?
Mm-hmm. It was great. It was a perfect ceremony. Did a great job.
I'm gonna
For those that don't know, my brother is an actor.
Yeah.
You can only imagine what that ceremony was. He's a huge personality.
Yes.
Yep.
Emily Graham.
I could
Why am I
see
not
you
ordained?
marrying people.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
You would
Yeah.
kill it.
Oh, man.
Oh yeah, and listen,
Pastor Slay.
Oh.
You'd be up there sweating.
You get a little bit. No, I just put water on me.
Yeah.
When he had, I'm
Get
so
that
cool.
little
I ain't
towel.
gonna sweat. Yeah, I ain't gonna sweat. I
Yeah,
had
those
a big-
beach weddings might get you.
Oh no,
you know,
I'm slim now.
You can't have a better entrance than the bride. You realize that, right?
Yeah,
Oh, no,
it's true.
It's gonna have to be a little.
No,
bit.
you'd
I'm
be
gonna
the
real.
star.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to be real.
The pastor will be the star.
Yeah, it's gonna be about me. But y'all can get married. It's about me though.
Dude,
Okay.
Welcome
so
to
many
the show.
people would want you marrying them. Like, I mean, you could charge a fortune.
Are y'all ready?
It's supply and demand.
Ordaining people.
I thought you
Reach
meant,
out
are
to
you
us.
ready for the Vols tonight?
Oh, almost.
I mean,
How sweet 16 it is, baby.
are you
Big change.
confident?
I'm most definitely confident, Babsy. I am most definitely confident.
Outside of your orangedom.
Oh, you want me to take my glasses and stuff off?
Yes.
Yes, I am. Reason being because if it was a matchup that they hadn't seen before, I would be like, this could sneak up on them, man. And if they hadn't played like they did in the first two games, I would say, because you want to gradually get better, and I feel like that's what they're doing. So, yeah, I'm fine with it.
That didn't convince me.
Big
I wouldn't
savages.
bet. So when I do this, I want to talk about betting with my money. When I say, am I convincing myself?
Yes.
I'm convincing myself because I feel like Tennessee has seen what they can do, and they challenged the 3-point line better than 344 teams in the country.
Yeah, they're best at it. They're
You know
number
what I'm
one.
saying?
You're
So
right.
yeah,
At three-point defense.
and that's what FAU's game is, regardless if they get hot or not. I just don't want the lead to get ballooned if they would have run off with some threes where you couldn't come back. I think it will even out. So yeah, that better.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, can we move on?
Yep.
Thank you, Babs.
Big Savage.
All right.
Break.
Big Savage.
Ramon Foster coming up next from Ramon, Kayla, and Will. That's a show that's sweeping the country. We'll be right back. 3HL 1045 The Zone. Twitch, please. Yeah, thank you, Don. Brentwood Jewelry, BrentwoodJewelry.com is the website. Go ahead and get in there and check them out. If you haven't heard already, Nashville's premier timepiece dealer is Brentwood Jewelry. Not only do they have the best selection of watches, they're also the go-to spot for pre-owned Rolexes, vintage or current models. Own a fine pre-owned Rolex for a fraction of the cost. Every watch has been meticulously serviced to ensure the highest level of performance and is presented with a 2-year warranty. Just go see Brandon and Salem, the Amamali family in there, and they'll be able to help you out. Brentwood Jewelry carrying the Hamilton watch line as well. Hamilton watches, innovative, iconic, and known for American spirit and Swiss precision. They offer a wide range of chronographic and automatic and classic and men's and women's watches with a reputation for craftsmanship and strong movie, military, and aviation heritage. If you're looking for a Swiss-made watch that offers quality as well as standout style, look no further than Hamilton. Quality men's watches with standout style, Hamilton. BrentwoodJewelry.com. Again, the website, 7012 Church Street in the heart of Brentwood, just off Franklin Road. Exceptional style, exceptional deals every day for more than 50 years. Again, BrentwoodJewelry.com.
Hello, everyone. It is warmer. Hello, everyone. It's warmer. It's warm outside, Babsy. Starting to heat up just a little bit. Now,
How's your AC?
My AC is bumping. I mean, I'm talking about you can walk around with jackets in the home and you feel good because SpringHillAC.com, well, Spring Hill Heating and Cooling came out and checked 2 months ago. I took advantage of it. They came out and checked Babsy. My HVAC is doing well. So guess what? We ain't have no problems thanks to Kevin and Spring Hill Heating and Cooling.
Okay, well, wait, maybe there's people out there who do have problems. You turned on the AC unit this morning, you realize it's not working, and don't worry, you don't have to wait till the peak of summer to get it repaired. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling offers free service calls with their repairs, plus low monthly payments on those repairs. And if you need a completely new unit, get it done now. You get 18 months of no payments. You heard me right. You buy a new unit today, you won't have to pay for it until August of 2024.
Spring Hill Heating and Cooling is a proud Rude Pro partner and Mitsubishi Diamond contractor. SpringHillAC.com. You need to reach out to them, Babsy.
Call them.
It all starts at about 3 hours from right now. Good evening from the Superbook.com Sports Desk. I'm Joe Hunk. Tennessee and FAU in 3 hours is what I'm talking about. 8 p.m. tip-off, as you can hear right here on 104.5 The Zone. Sweet 16 action begins here in about 30 minutes on 104.5 The Zone. Now, the winner of Tennessee and FAU, they will go on to play the winner of Kansas State and Michigan State in the Elite Eight coming up on Saturday. The Preds are at home. This is the first of back-to-back games that they have against the Seattle Kraken. Right now, the Preds are still 5 points back of that final wild card spot in the Western Conference with about 13 games to go. And the Bucks announced just a little while ago that they are releasing former Titans kicker Ryan Suckup. Last year, he was 31 of 38 with 5 of those misses coming from 50+. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Vols, the flagship station for your Tennessee Titans, and home to 3HL. This is 104.5 The Zone.
HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty. Todd Davenport is here.
That's Bonk.
Dang
That's
right.
Bonk. Twitch, please.
Happy weekend,
Twitch,
people.
please. Twitch,
We got
please.
basketball tonight. It's basically weekend. Let's
It's
go.
going to be fun tonight. Basketball coverage here begins at 5:30 on 104.5 The Zone. Tennessee Vol Network coverage begins at 7:30. Tennessee and Florida Atlantic going at it at 8 o'clock.
That is correct.
Vols a 5-point favorite. Slay is confident.
Very. You know
Me,
what?
not so much.
How sweet it is.
He's got a Tennessee hat on with the power white tee on the orange hat.
And a glistening power tee.
A massive gold chain with a bedazzled
and you know what?
Orange power tee with a white border.
It's awesome.
You want to add something else to that?
You've got a white Tennessee T-shirt on.
That is correct.
He just hit his head on the mic.
Would you like to add something else to that?
What else you got?
My car ain't got no roof.
Oh my God.
Car ain't got no roof. Big chain. Car ain't got no roof.
He's a big power tee Flavor Flav is what he is.
Sweet 16. I'm killing Flavor Flav, man. Flavor Flav is an ugly character. Like, I don't want to be compared to Flavor Flav.
Is he married to Grace Jones still?
Oh, he was married to the woman from
It wasn't Grace Jones.
Rocky.
Yeah. Wasn't that her?
That's not her name.
What is her name?
I forgot her name.
Does Big Savagery Ramon Foster remember her name? Ramon, what's up?
Hey,
Bridget Nielsen.
Bridget Nielsen, that's it.
Grace Jones.
Where'd you
Bridget
get that
Nielsen.
from? Good pull.
What's up, Ramon?
Hi, Savagery.
Man, not much. Let's out here get some soft tosses in real quick. Y'all know it's baseball season, basketball season, football off season. It's the busiest time of the year, y'all. Let's get it.
That's very true. I hear a bat hitting. Who was that out there swinging?
See what the dog? That's me catching with a catcher's mitt. Y'all know I can't catch with a regular glove no more. Yeah, I got to get a little extra padding in this thing.
Yeah, no, there's no way I would catch RJ.
Yeah, you got the heat monster coming.
No way.
You know what? I won't tell him that ever. You hear me? I'm forever dad, Mayor.
Can't wait. I'm going to text him in just a second.
You get Miles in the box against RJ?
He been asking Uncle Ron to get in the box with him. He won't do it.
Uncle Ron ain't got no business in the box with him.
Uncle Ron ain't got no business in the box.
Yeah, Uncle Ron ain't no fool.
So, hey,
I ain't going to say he said, you're right. You don't belong in the box.
See,
only the boom boom room.
I accept that. That's a good way to put it. Appreciate that, nephew.
Yeah, that's something.
Ramon Foster with us. Ramon, Kayla, Will, 6 to 10 weekdays on 104.5 The Zone. You guys do a great job. Appreciate you hopping on as you do every week. And we got a short show today. But I have heard that you like Osiris Torrance from Florida. And we asked Greg Cosell about him, and he was glad that you liked him because he liked him too, so it made him feel better about that. But he said a very physical power guard.
Yes, 100%. Osiris is one of those guys I would call, this is me jumping out there, a can't miss, because he is who he is, and this reason. You go from Louisiana to friggin' Florida, and you still become a first-round draft pick. You are who you are. He's a big dude. He's a powerful dude. He's a guy that understands who he is to me. He reminds me of a guy that came out like a David DeCastro. Like when DeCastro came from Stanford, he was a right guard. So you know what happened? Your guy, Big Savage, you had to move over to the left side, which is fine with me because Dave is really good at right guard. Some guys are just like that. Leave them where they are. Don't mention any other kind of conversation about what they can do. He's a double-digit year starter, barring injury.
So I got a question. I asked Cosell about Broderick Jones and then the question marks that usually surround Georgia players. I'm going to ask you the same thing. Because when you explain about Broderick Jones and you get back to the point of saying but, or there's a lot of potential, or it's always something extra added on to when you're talking about Georgia players as of late.
You know what it is, man. I heard y'all having that conversation, and I was hoping you asked me that question for this reason, Vadri, is this. Georgia has a problem, and not even a bad one. Georgia problem is this. They get a lot of 5 stars and highly rated guys. And you know what teams do, because I've had this conversation with some of our scouting departments. They tab those ESPN 300 guys, and especially tab those 5-star guys. Broderick Jones is a 5-star guy. And you know what's behind him? Another guy at Georgia who's another 5-star tackle who's probably going to leave in the next year or two and be a first-rounder. With that conversation of all those 5 stars comes this. They're usually young. Isaiah Wilson was also a 5-star coming out of Georgia. You see the trend a little bit, though? Jalen Carter, a 5-star or a very highly regarded prospect, too. That's why Georgia has question around their guys. One, they're 5 stars, and they come out kind of young. You see what I'm saying? That's the issue. And then this is the thing, too, where it becomes kind of polarizing. If I draft them, can they handle it? Are they mature enough?
Right.
And will we still see them reach their potential when they get to the NFL? Most of the time, they actually do, but it's always going to be the question of, can I trust this guy being so young? Think about that, though, for a second. It's like All-Americans, McDonald's All-Americans coming into the NBA, right? You know they got it. You just got to give them time.
Right.
To me, Broderick Jones is the most athletic tackle in this draft.
Gotcha.
As a young guy, I think he's true junior or redshirt sophomore?
Yeah.
He's young.
Yeah.
So am I good? Like, I'm looking for opportunities for the Titans to trade back and acquire draft capital. Am I good with them trading back and taking Osiris Torrance and then plugging him in? Because Greg Cosell said the same thing. He said he's a plug-and-play guy immediately.
Yes, he is. I've seen him go around 16, 17 to some teams. Not Pittsburgh. I think they got the 17th pick.
Yeah.
Because they just signed more guards. But he's in that 10 to about 18 range. If the Titans want to move back, because this is the thing, though, too. The thing is this. If I've heard coaches say, if I'm drafting in the top 10, they are ready-made guys soon as they step into the building. I mean, they're supposed to be day one starters, right?
Have to.
You're one pick away from top 10. There is value in knowing that another team will come and give you extra capital for that 11th overall pick. I've been saying all this offseason, 11 is such a prime position for a lot of different teams who may want a corner, who may hear another team want Bijan Robinson or something like that. Like, imagine that being the case. Somebody jump up for, I think, a surefire running back like Bijan.
Yeah. What about?
I love Bijan.
I do too.
Yeah, I do too.
One more about the offensive line. What's the big fella named DeJuan Jones?
DeJuan Jones.
6'8", 374.
6'8" 3/4, I think.
Yeah, 6'8" 3/4.
I like him, but can I say this? I like him, but I still have a ton of questions about him. Okay? His size, can it translate over? How long will it translate over? Is he just a 3-4 year guy in the NFL because he can't get his size and movement down? I love him coming in as a rookie because all coaches think, what? Man, I can mold this guy into what I want. But then you may end up getting a Mekhi Becton. You see what I'm saying? So I like him, but his size kind of stresses me a little bit. And also, I saw him at the Senior Bowl, and he only did 1 day of work. He had a really good day of work, and then I'm guessing him and his agent at the call of his counsel kind of just told him, if you have a good day, leave. And you know what? He did. So because of that, I would have loved to see him back 2 days in a row when it come down to him having good days at the Senior Bowl, but he didn't. But I'll say this too, that 1 day really bumped up his stock, and then you see his measurables, and he still ran, I think, a 5'3" at 370.
Right.
You know, we've talked about Bijan Robinson, Ramon Foster with us on 3HL, and he is the number one back. There is a really good number two guy on this list, too, depending on what you need. But this team keeps talking about multiplicity, right, with players that can do more than one thing. And Jahmyr Gibbs is that guy out of Alabama, the transfer from Georgia Tech. I love his dynamic playmaking ability.
I got a homeboy of mine I play football with, Anthony Parker. He's at Georgia Tech now. And when I mentioned, Tennessee was in the conversation about them getting Jahmyr Gibbs, he was like, Mo, this dude want to get in and want to get out, and he want to go to a really good team right now. Well, that's crazy for him because we beat Alabama this year. But he couldn't stop bragging about Jahmyr Gibbs. And you know what? He's that good. He reminds me of a Kamara type. He's fluid as ever, but he's also a luxury piece. Now, if you're telling me I'm going to have the opportunity to have him, Derek, and Hassan Haskins, who's my favorite, I'm going to be honest with you guys, then I think that's a good pick. Second, though, I think this team had a little bit more pieces that they need to plug in before they go get a running back.
I can see that.
Yeah, for sure. So what are you thinking? Offensive line, like, it's funny to watch them in free agency, right? Like, they go after numbers. We were talking about this with Coach Mack. He said, number one, you got to get out of cap jail. Number two, you need numbers at specific positions. And I think Rand Carthon, we keep talking about how low-key he had a really good, like, initial pop in free agency with the offensive line numbers and the linebacker numbers. What else do you see? Do you see cornerback help too?
Cornerback, I see linebacker help being of an issue, and I also say this too. I see outside rusher too, because Harold is still coming off that ACL, y'all, and we can't undermine that enough.
Right.
I know they ended up getting what's his name from the Jags, and you got Rashad Weaver,
LSU,
Arden Key. You still have him, and you have Rashad, but again. Ron, you've been through the ACL injury and recovery before too, right?
Mm-hmm.
It takes longer than you think because more mentally than physically, you're not where you want to be soon.
Yep. And
I'd almost say outside rusher.
And I think my bad, Babs. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that's too many holes to address.
Yeah, it is a lot of holes.
So you saying trade back then, huh, Babs?
Savagery.
You saying trade back?
That's all I'm saying is that is too many holes to be able to address.
Yeah, they don't have a fourth-round pick, right? Was it Julio Jones?
Was that the Julio Jones pick?
Yeah.
Yep,
it was.
Oh, that makes me want to
so glad
vomit.
he worked out well for us.
As a Titans fan.
Sold some jerseys.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I will say this
every time, man.
About the ACL injuries compared from college to pro ACL injuries. I think it takes a little bit longer in the pros because it's a different kind of strain and you're under kind of different kind of pressure when it happens. And when you do it in college, you more so know that you're really just getting started. I mean, if you have potential to go pro, that potential isn't going to change because you have an ACL injury. In the pros, it's totally different because, man, it's money on the line. They already paid you a lot of times. You kind of get forced to get out there. It's a little bit different. So I think it's two different things when you start talking about ACL. And I heard you talking about giving Landry some time to bounce back from that instead of just not throwing them straight out there. So I'm interested to see how the Titans handle that too moving forward.
Me too, and Babs and Mayor, I want to ask y'all specifically because y'all been covering this team, Babs. I didn't mean to exclude you, but they've been in the market a little bit longer, okay? Has for you, has this been as tight-lipped as the Titans has ever been when it comes down to information pre-draft, all-season free agency? I feel like we're not getting anything from inside the building.
No, we don't ever get crap.
Well, part of that is there's so many new pieces over there that, people haven't developed relationships.
Yeah. Relationships and sources haven't happened kind of yet.
Yeah. So that might be part of it. I don't know. They've always been kind of tight-lipped over there.
That's what I was going to say. That's why nobody ever breaks Titans news, right? Until somewhat.
But it's random.
But
it's not
random.
Like we go chasing
it. Yeah, exactly. But I will say this: back when Fish was there, you and Buck. Back when Fish was there, I think that there was probably a lot more information came out. Like I felt like, but I was also at the facility every single day too. You know, I feel like COVID kind of like hurt the relationship building process, but. I know you're from like Steeler time or whatever, Steeler area. Like this organization has always been pretty tight-lipped.
But see, this is the thing, though, too. I guess to your point a second ago, Babs, it's so many different holes and still so many unanswered questions. Like when you guys ask me about Osiris Torrance, I instantly say, yeah, but then I say, well, who else is in the building that they haven't made any more free agent moves? Like, who's your starters right now?
Yeah.
Right.
I say Bruce, I'd say NPS, and then I say Dillard, but we're still missing two guys. Is that draftable, or are we missing somebody in-house? I don't know anything about the guys in-house still.
Well, what about Brunski from San Francisco? I think they picked him up to start at guard.
You think they picked him up to start?
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah.
But I need
so
some
then
juice,
the question
too.
is, and maybe we should ask you, we asked Cosell this, and he gave an obvious answer, but, I mean, right now it's Dylan Radins at guard, right? Like, so my guess is you draft a guard at 11.
Dylan Radins, to me, and I heard him kind of say that, and I kind of agree with Cosell on that one. He's still, to me, in rookie mode because you can have mistakes and you can have bad plays, but the only way to get better, and y'all know this, is through reps.
Right.
Dylan Radins had hardly any reps. So where can you justify saying, I feel comfortable with him into year 3 that he's going to be a really good starter for us?
Yeah, you can't.
Do y'all feel comfortable? I'm thinking no.
No. I'm cool. Right now. He can work.
Yeah.
He showed me, though, coming into the spring and into preseason practice. Like, you can go earn it.
No.
You can't earn it?
No, because we went through that last year.
We did. With
went through
NPF.
that last year. With him. Remember,
he was a starter. He sure was, yep.
He was. You remember
You're right about that.
So
You're right about
Trick
that.
me no more.
Yep, you're right about that. He got the coach's award too, I think, didn't he?
Yes.
Yep, he sure did.
He got his parking spot.
He got
the up front parking
I
spot.
forgot about that, Savage. Yep, you're right. You're right.
You see what I'm saying,
Yeah,
though?
you're
Like,
right.
he's not going to trick me no more. And I don't want to out him, but that's a hard sell going into year 3.
Yeah, absolutely right. I forgot all about
I'll
that.
put it this way, as I just chucked that ball real quick. Pittsburgh has some instability at left guard this last year with a kid named Kevin Dotson. It's documented, okay? That's the only reason I'm speaking about it. From that point, they ended up going to get Isaac Seumalo from Philly. Now, he's been in and out of the lineup as far as Dotson goes. So what did they go do? They went and paid a guy $7 million a year to come in and be a veteran starter. Why? Because after 3 years, they didn't see anything from him that they deemed to be starter moving forward. That's how quick the NFL moves, y'all. And that's why I'm like, man, you can get emotional if you want to and say, yeah, but no. Did you or did you not?
Yeah.
It's great stuff. All right, Tennessee basketball in action tonight. How confident are you, former Vol?
I'm very. I got Vols by, I said this morning, Vols by 7.
Like it, Savage.
7?
He been hanging with his boy. That's covering.
We beating that batter Vol syndrome out of everybody.
Yeah.
Hey, that's right,
Sounds
Savage.
like it.
Well, I'm talking about Savage.
As excited as y'all were, I was almost expecting like double digits or something.
That's a lot. That's a lot in the
7
tournament.
is solid. This Sweet 16, man.
Yeah. Right. This ain't no regular season game.
Oh, man.
This ain't that, as they say.
Don't y'all wish we were all sitting in Madison Square Garden tonight?
We should be.
That's one venue that I am dying to go to because I love how it looks on TV. It's dark and it's just like all the focus point is on the court. So I love the way it looks.
It's showtime up
That
there.
and Fenway and Yankee Field.
Yeah, I want to see Yankee.
Stadium, not field.
Stadium.
Come
Yankee
on,
Stadium.
please.
Hey, Hunk, we ain't asked for all that, okay? All you do is push buttons. No, I'm playing.
Just focus
I
on
know
the
you're a
ball.
baseball aficionado.
Don't let the ball get past you.
Savage.
I kid. My bad, Joe Heasy.
Oh, that was great. He's used to it. He's good.
All right, Ramon. Hey, just don't get hit by any pitches, man. I know he can break off some
Hey,
curveballs. That
you
might catch
saying
him.
that, and next thing you know, will want to clip off my glove.
That's what I'm saying.
Get him, Jojo.
He's
Fire
got
him
that,
up.
he's got that bender, man. Look out.
That's right. All right,
Yeah, for
y'all
real.
finish up. Get ready for that, orange team to play tonight.
Hey, Babs. See, I was rooting for you. Now I'm not. See, couldn't be my team not being in the Sweet 16.
Get him, Savage.
Babs, you got me talking crap right now.
I know, I do. Look at that.
Didn't take much, did it?
No, I did not really.
Nope.
All right. Hey, thanks, Savage. Appreciate it.
All right, sorry, Paul. We went over.
Hey, no, actually, we didn't because
we're good.
we have a long segment here before basketball.
It's basketball
Hey,
time.
Real quick, I know you were in the chat when Jim Nantz called line 3, just called a listener line, and knew everything about the station and started rolling through details about the station. He goes, I wonder if Big Savage is listening. What went through your head when you heard Jim Nantz say that?
I'm going to be real with y'all. I went in groupie mode, just so you know. Jim, if you're listening right now, I'm a fan, okay? And I didn't expect that. But this is the thing, like when you meet those types of people, they are just pros and pros on top of pros, and it really teach you how to do the job right. After I heard him say my name, you know what I said? I got to go harder. I can't be slacking around here when Jim Nantz is listening to us. You know what I'm saying? So I was honored, and it's just one of those things when you do good, man, good follow, and man, y'all, we trying to crush as much as we can. It was just a real cool moment. I smile every time I hear the commercial.
It's awesome. I love it.
Man, I haven't even heard those promos. Thank you, Ramon. Appreciate you, bro.
Oh, we've got
absolutely.
All right, Ramon Foster.
We've got some
Ramon
Rocky
Foster.
Top playing.
At Ramon Kayla.
It's that time.
6 to 10 weekday mornings on 104.5 The Zone. There's Jim Nantz promos airing on this station.
Oh, Rocky Top, you'll always be
off key.
Home, sweet home to me. Good old Rocky Top. Woo!
So bad.
Woo. Hey, man, do y'all know what this gonna mean?
What?
Just pay attention to your TVs today.
All right, back at
get
it
on social media because I'm going to be rocking.
Back at it tomorrow for Trash Talk Friday. Sweet 16 coverage of the NCAA tournament begins momentarily here on 104.5 The Zone. Good night. God bless.
Yes, enjoy hoops. See ya.
Go ball.